don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes. Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Okay, guys, how is everybody doing? I'm feeling so much better, honey. I went and got a haircut. I do not like when my hair don't feel healthy, so it's short, but it'll grow fast. So, and I like my new glasses, so I'm doing well. So I wanted to jump on here, guys, because I did a video yesterday and we talked about the Monique situation with her son, honey, and now Monique and her husband has responded to what Monique's son has stated. And also, prior to me doing my video, the son came out and said some stuff. So it's been a lot of stuff going on, and I want to get into that. And I'm sure you guys have saw those videos already, but I still want to get into it to be able to provide my commentary and what I feel about it. So the video that I actually did yesterday was regarding Monique and her husband being threatened. And since then, she has come out with a video and she's actually said that she had been threatened. And then she also addressed the situation with her son. Now, I want to quickly get into that. I probably won't play the entire video or anything like that, but I want to specifically get into what her son said. With regards to what the heck was that? With regards to what he's saying about his mother. So let's get into that video. I don't know what the heck just jumped up on my screen, but let me get out of there. So let's get into that because I thought, that was, obviously his perspective on what he felt about his mother. Obviously, none of us was there, so we don't really know. Trauma is just what it is, trauma. So let's get into what he had to say with regards to his mother, y'all. Give me a second here. Let me get into this 1 second. This thing be doing all kind of stuff here. Just give me a moment to share it. StreamYard, y'all can count y'all days because I just don't like it. I don't like StreamYard at all. So let me share my screen here.
But to address the Club Shayshay interview that she did where she states, newsflash, I'm not sure if people know.
I'm sorry,
she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son. Neither one of us has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time, and I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths. But to address the Club Shayshay interview that she did where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue. Oh, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. But responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering, well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated that they have 3 sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the 4th son in a video that has millions of views, that rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically. Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. But to take it a step further, you also admit, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do, which would also make one begin to question, all of your past decisions and prior emotional interactions. But to be completely honest and fair, those were things that I was willing to get over. Nobody's perfect, we're all human. But my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things. My mother does a fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well. And anything that she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though, her interest in being a mother probably started. But to take it a step further, around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the excuse me, the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate, I guess you could say. There are now 2 baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still, during that time, however, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own. To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life. In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him, holds around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided. No, wait. There are still women to this day.
Okay, guys. So I wanted to stop that video there because I'm sure you've already saw it. So I wanted to really address this particular situation. And of course, this is just my perspective. Everyone will have their own perspective. I believe he's in his 30s. I could be wrong. But this is just my perspective. Obviously, he has some trauma. We all have trauma. The way we deal with it is the only difference. So he appears to have some type of trauma. He mentioned that he questioned his self-worth. He said that his mother showed no interest in him. And it is stated that when she got with her current husband, he was in his late teens, which would mean that, obviously she had more children. So from my perspective and watching his video, what I see is someone that is extremely, extremely hurt. I don't want to use the word bitter because from my perspective, I feel like he may feel like his mother has married somebody else and has had more children by this man. And for some reason, he may feel left out. He may feel like he is not a part of that equation. And I don't know if any of you are from households where, your mother, like you were with your mother, or maybe, your mother and your dad was married and maybe they were no longer together. And then your mother married or got with someone else and had more children. Because if you have experienced that, then you can relate to what this young man is saying. Now, I don't know the intricate details of their relationship, but when he says that his mother showed no interest in him, but later on he went on to say she was always working. And I'm not discounting whatever he said that she did to him. I know as a parent, I'm working all the time too. And here's my thing. My children are older now, so I don't know if that really makes a difference, but every parent has their own struggle. and even as a parent, if your children are young and you have to work, you have to work. So unfortunately, you know, even when you're a single parent, even if you're a 2-parent household, people have to work. So when he says that she was working, trying to provide a life, and she showed him the mountaintop, I believe was his words when he went on to describe some of the great things about her. I feel like some of what he's saying is unfair. Um, he stated that Monique apologized to him, which I think is a good thing because some parents will never even apologize to you. So I'm not discounting what he said, but a lot of what he said, I'm wondering, is this more hurt than anything? Because I want to get into another video here. I didn't want to show his entire video because I'm sure you guys have already saw that. So I didn't want to, you know, show you stuff that obviously you already saw before, but I wanted to bring it up. But let's get into Monique's video, and I'm not going to play it all because it's her video is over an hour long, but I wanted to just bring up some of the things she said and her husband, what they stated, and we'll probably fast forward it because this is what I feel as a parent myself, and I mean, I might as well say I'm 50. Obviously, the way that I thought as a 30-year-old, a 35-year-old is not the way that I think right now. And there was times in my life when I was mad at mad at my parents. But as you get older and you become a parent, you start to think of things differently. And I didn't want to be angry with my mother or my father based on things that they couldn't control. Because what you have to understand, if you are a parent, you're not perfect either. So if you think that you're parenting your kids better, that could be correct. But you can bet your bottom dollar when those kids grow up, it's something about what you did that they didn't like. So I don't know, again, what the intricate issues is. But based on what I've heard, I don't even understand why it's on social media, because if all you can say about your mom is she didn't show interest in you because, she was worried about her career, I must say, come up with something else. I mean, seriously, because navigating the world, trying to work and provide for your family, it's not easy. So, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think, but let's get into Monique's video. And again, I'm not discounting his feelings, but I do believe by her own admission, and he said that she apologized, but then he kind of felt like she didn't want to be bothered. And I can, in so many ways, identify with that because I mean, I feel like my mother don't want to be bothered, but I feel like, at my age, she can, live her life how she wants to live it. Like, you do get to the point in life where you just don't want to be bothered. Now, I don't know what their particular situation is, but it just seems like he may be traumatized, maybe for something else that he's not saying. Maybe it's because he just wanted his mom to hug him or love him or something else. And maybe once he becomes older, he'll be able to say that. But I just feel like it's something else. Let's get into this quick video, guys, where Monique and her daddy. Let's get into that. Just give me a moment here.
We got it. All right, we're going to wait for some of the babies to come in the room.
But I'm going to fast forward it. Can I fast forward this?
Oops. So we can have this conversation.
Okay, wait a minute, y'all, because I'm not going to, let me see if I can get to.
Okay. We got it. All right, we're going to wait for some of the babies. Okay. We got it. All right, we're going to wait for some of the babies to come in the room so we can have this conversation.
So
we'll do that right now.
this is Monique and Sidney.
Hey, babies.
Hey, hey.
We just wait for y'all to come on in the room so we can have this conversation with our community. What is that? Oh, we could. Let's rock and roll, baby.
Let's rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
The title of our conversation, or the theme of it, is called The Long Way Around, because ain't no shortcuts. Pickles, stop playing with that paper, please. The reason we're having it is a multitude of reasons, but we're going to start off with, there was a Instagram that was put up, or I guess
it was TikTok, baby.
TikTok that was put up by
my son, my oldest son, Shalon. And this is what I want to say to this. There are some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged, we watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this though, Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing, because you know this has been Uncle Sid your whole life. Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her 3 sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has 3 sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
And love that brother. And the irony of all of this is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See, you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago. You're forgetting about how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half the down payment for it. And you were 31 years of age, 32 years of age at that point. And I'm negotiating the deal with the dealer for you as you sit there. And you have the vehicle you're driving right now because of your mother. These are the things that you're leaving out when you're expressing what you're expressing in reference to your mother. You're not expressing the relationship that you have with your father, where you spoke ill to him, not to mention spoke ill to your mother, but somehow your mother and father and I.
Okay, guys, I stopped it because that's a very important part, what he just stated. Now, I saw people in comments of other, bloggers, and what you guys were saying was the fact that Monique allowed her husband to call her son uncle, or that's my nephew, is pretty much what it is. So, and please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not going on anybody's side, but what I want you guys is to understand what they are saying. Monique and Sidney, and Monique has said this before, her and Sidney has had a relationship for years. Monique stated that Sidney came to her weddings of her other husband. She said they were never in any type of relationship, her and Sidney. They were like friends, like brother and sister. Now, I'm sure you guys have male friends or female friends where you are extremely close. There's nothing, sexual in nature other than the fact that you guys are close. So what that means is, because Monique had, her son, that he would call her son nephew, which would be acceptable. My male friends that I've been known forever, what else would they call my son or my daughter other than niece or nephew? So what they are saying is, once Monique married him and now he became her husband, it felt uncomfortable for him now to say, this is my son, because he had always referred to him as his nephew. So I wanted to clarify that. And for my age group, now this is for my age group. Now, some people may not understand what I'm saying. I have known people for 30 plus years that has been my friend. Now, somewhere down the line, if I start dating a guy that was my friend, it almost would seem weird if my kids had been knowing this man as like as an uncle, because that is what they refer to him as. And now I married him, and now, that just would seem a little weird. So I can understand why they are saying that he referred to Monique's son as his nephew. Excuse me. Oh, y'all. Where did that come from? Oh, wait, y'all. Almost choking here. But y'all be right back. Ooh, I'm choking. Actually, I'm better. But what I was excuse me, but so I can kind of identify with what they're saying. But I think where the problem comes in, what Sidney stated is Monique's son wanted to refer to him as dad. So I will tell you this. From my experience, when my mother was no longer with my father, and then she married my sister's dad. Oh, y'all, excuse me. And then I got to take another drink. And then she married my sister's dad. Now, my sister's dad was really good to me, but I never could call him dad because when my mother married him, I was 6. So I knew he wasn't my father, although he was really good to me. But I can tell you this. If a teenage boy goes to another man and wants to refer to him as dad, that's a sign of respect. So I feel like they should have allowed him to call him that if that is what felt more comfortable to him. Because I can also tell you this, the fact that you told him that he could not call you that, and that you felt like you had a relationship with his dad, and that you felt like you wanted him to continue to call him, you wanted him to continue to call you uncle. Now that's a sign of disrespect, because at this point you are married to his mom. So you are considered a dad to him. So if you guys can understand that, as Monique's son, or even as a teenager, I would not feel as if I was a part of that family. If my mom married somebody and I have highly respect and highly regard for this individual to the point that I want to call him my dad, and he's saying, no, you call me uncle, because what you're doing is you're making me separate, and I can't call you dad, but yet my brothers can call you dad, which I understand you are their dad. But do you guys kind of understand where you are creating a divide, or where they are creating a divide? And I don't think they understand that. So I do sympathize with Monique's son, but I believe that both of them are missing each other's point of view here. So let's kind of pick up on this video. I just wanted to point that out, y'all.
We've put certain individuals in such a status that we've disallowed them to be human beings. And on the note with taking the long way around, and that there are no shortcuts. So you could take the shortcut and cross through Miss Evelyn's yard, but you know she got a pit bull. And he may or may not be in that yard. But you know for sure, if you get in that yard and he is in that yard, you will definitely be chased. It is a bit safer to go around the long way, because not only is it the right thing to do, because you're not cutting through somebody's yard, their grass, trespassing on their property, but what happens is it may be a longer journey, but it's worth the trip. So we're going to take the long way around, and we're not going to call out these individuals on platforms like this. We're going to call them up. Now, please don't confuse. When Monique is standing on stage, she has an artistic paintbrush designed to paint her life and make people laugh in a way in which a comedian is supposed to do. So her life experiences are fair game. They're fair game.
Fair game.
So when she says what she says on stage, please don't say it's the way that she said it. because she's on stage. We're dealing with, when we're not on stage, what is being said. And again, to revisit Brother Stephen A., I'd like to point something out to you. When you sit there and you say that a Black woman looks bitter because she's telling her personal truth, when you sit there and you speak in reference to the end.
Okay, guys, I stopped that because basically what he's talking about is something related to somebody else who we are not even talking about. I just really wanted to concentrate on Monique's son and Monique's back and forth. Again, right now he's talking about something else that's really irrelevant to my video. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this point. But I do have some more receipts that I want to show y'all. But based on what you guys are seeing here, I believe that there is some issues on both parts. There's so much that can be said here. But what I will say is I just hate this. Like, I hate to see this. I hate to see Monique going back and forth with her son. I hate to see her son not feeling loved. And I'm going to say this as a parent, and I can say this because this is my channel, right? But this is what I'm going to say. As a parent, I realized that even in my own journey as a parent, I made mistakes and I had to mentally correct them. And even in my mentally correcting them, I actually had to talk to my children like, okay, do you like when I do this, or, with this or whatever it is that I'm doing? Because you have to understand, as a parent, we have our mind made up of how we're going to parent our children, but it's not always correct. Now, I didn't have a situation where, I married another man and, my kids didn't, feel accepted. Now, that wasn't my story because that was never going to happen in my household. But that's not to say that I did not make mistakes. But I believe we don't even know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. The thing that you need to always get right is with your kids. If you don't make it with nobody else, you must make it with those people, because at the end of life, those are the people that's going to carry your legacy. Those are the people that got to bury you. And honestly, your children are you. So I just really hate it for them. And I hate that we're talking about this as content, because this is somebody's real life. And I just wanted to say that, for all the parents, and I know y'all watching this, y'all gonna be watching this video and be like, Monique, shame on Monique. Well, this is the thing. There is no parent that's perfect. And that's why I said, I know I was not a perfect parent. And let me tell you something, we ain't never been in a lot of situations, but I know as a parent, I was one of those people that say, you better do this, you do this, so I was like, I was telling my kids what to do and was never really listening to them, because I'm like, I'm the parent, I'm from that era where you do what I say. I don't got time to listen to you. So I think as parents, we all need to dig within ourselves and see how we can be better people, because I promise you, if you think you better than the next parent, if you think you're doing this or you think you're doing that, not to say you're not doing it, but have a talk with your children when they're able to talk to you about some of the things, and just find out what things that they like or didn't like, because you're gonna find out some things. Now, that's only if your kids, if they're open to talk to you about certain things, if they're not afraid. You gotta remove the element of scare. If they feel scared, they're not gonna tell you. But I wanted to get into another thing, because in that last video, we saw Monique and her husband come out and talk about him and some of the things that he had done. But I also want to bring up this. I did not like the fact that they were saying that they helped him with the car, because it's almost like you're throwing it up in his face. And then they were saying, well, I shouldn't say they were saying, her husband was saying, you didn't even know how to do this and you were 32. Now, I don't like that. Like, if you helped him, you can say, well, I helped you with the car, but I don't know if I like the fact by telling him, you were 32, like basically you should know how to do this. I would have left that part off. Okay, but let's get into these dang on text messages, y'all, because It's not getting no better. Like I wish that this would just stop. So let's get into these text messages here. And these are text messages that Monique shared. And let's just get into them here. Let's see here. So it says Monique posts messages between her and her son amid claims that she's a bad mother. Here are the receipts from a mother who allegedly does not love her son. Now, if you guys can see this, hopefully you can. Boy, I got on glasses and I'm still looking like, what? So these messages appear to be from 2020. And it looks like she said, the first message, it says, okay, baby. And then it looks like December 5th, 2020. Hey, baby, just checking on you. So apparently, she's checking on them, or she's doing what a mother does. Hey, how you doing? And then it looks like he didn't reply. This was December 5th, 2020. December 23rd, she sent him another message. Hey, baby, just checking on you. He didn't reply. So keep in mind, she sent him a message on December 5th. He didn't reply. December 23rd, she sent another message. That's how many days? 19 days or something. Then on January 15th, that's over 30 days. He says, hey, man, good morning. Well, he must have said, meant to say mine. And she said, hey, baby, did you mean to send this to me? LOL, man. Y'all know how the phones do. It will type its own stuff. So he said, hey, Ma, good morning. My phone auto-corrected Ma and put man. And she said, LOL, that damn autocorrect. So this is their conversation, y'all. So it looks like now we get to January 25th, 2021. Hey, now I see you. So he sent her a message. Looks like a picture of him. This was January 25th, then February 2nd. Hey, baby, you look good. I will call you tomorrow. I'm gone to bed. LOL, your mama getting older. And he said, laugh out loud, I love you. So it looks like she's checking in on him. I mean, she's checking in on him. Then she says, hey, sweetness, I'll hit you later tonight. So it looks like they're in constant communication. Then he says, okay, she reaches back out to him. Hey, baby, I'm going to call you. So it looks like they're talking. Then on February 21st, hey, mommy, I wanted to send Tough some flowers and stuff just because. Can you help me pick some stuff out? Because I have, okay, so he's reaching out to his mother for her help. So this is not to say that they didn't have issues, but it would seem that if you're having this type of conversation with your mother, it couldn't be that bad to the point that y'all not talking. Then on the 21st, hey, Ma, have you ever heard of whatever they're talking about? So they're having a conversation. Then again, this is just, what does this even prove other than they were in communication here? And this goes to the 21st. And so this is the part that's, let's just go. Okay. So this only goes to the 21st. So I don't know what happened between there because we don't see any communication. Now read this one, y'all. This is just, and somebody in the comments saying receipts expired. Yeah, because these are old. Remember today. It says, remember today. Wait a minute. Maybe we missing something off this. This don't even make sense. Okay, wait a minute, y'all. So I feel like I'm missing something from that. All right, y'all, let's go back. Y'all, wait a minute. Let me stop sharing. Well, let me just go to, because something is, actually, let me stop sharing for a second. Because somehow I lost where I was reading from. It kind of got a little jumbled, but I wanted to go back to that last message because something just is crazy with this right here. And I'm not understanding why Monique's husband is sending these messages. And, don't get me wrong. He seemed like he may just do a little bit too much. Okay, so These are the receipts that, you know, she showed or whatever was going on. But this is the message that Sidney sent. Remember today, and this is Uncle Sid, if you don't change your immature ways, you're going to lose, my man. We can't be mad at you, but we're definitely sad for you. So, okay, I think that may be a little bit too much. Because, first of all, keep in mind, you're not considering yourself as a dad, you're considering yourself as an uncle who is sleeping with my mother. So, essentially, you're a dad. So, this is too much. How did you go from putting your mother on hold when generations of family are able to see Sinai on Nicole's side, but you gave no instructions to Tuffy or your mother as to when they would or could be able to see Sinai until after Tuffy brought this fact to your attention? Interestingly, you're a man now, but you were a little boy just days ago as you needed me to walk you through getting a car. The items for the baby, you wouldn't even have it if it wasn't for your mother. And I don't care enough to do that. What? The items for the baby, you wouldn't even have if your mother Tuffy and I didn't care enough to do that for you and Sinai. You needed to be rescued from your apartment. Oh my goodness. So this is the thing. I'm going to stop sharing right now. I think, then again, this is just commentary. I don't know these people. The husband, Sidney, the way you are talking to him seems a little bit harsh. He continually brings up a time where he rescued them. Let me tell you something. If you are my parent and you rescued me from a situation, please don't keep talking about it, because one thing you will learn is I will never ask you again. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation. It's a lot going on. I do feel like Monique's husband is doing a little bit too much. I understand this is your wife, but he may be the problem here, because if I have an issue going on with my mother and she married somebody, and obviously, and I'm thinking back to being a child, right? And you tell me that I cannot address you as my dad, but yet you keep intervening in my situation. I don't know. But y'all got to let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch y'all in the next video.